All right, guys, welcome to today's AI training, how to use AI to conquer the world. Today, I'm going to be showing you some ways to use AI to create disruptive images. This is extremely useful when you're creating Facebook ads, any kind of paid ads where you use images. Maybe if you're creating thumbnails, again, where you want to use an image to disrupt and grab attention, you can use these in your outreach. You can use these in the emails you write for your clients. You can use these on landing pages. There's something about AI art and AI image generation that is interesting and disruptive. You have to be careful with it. I'm going to show you some tools you can use to generate AI images and a few examples of how you can play around with it. So let's go ahead. I'm going to share my screen so you can see what I'm talking about, and we will dive right in. So this is open.ai. This is I think the main landing page, sign up for AI as it's being developed. OpenAI is the project run by Elon Musk, where he's trying to make AI tools available to people so that more people can use them. It's giving us the opportunity to use the ChatGPT, this other program, DALL-E, which is the image generation, which is basically the same as this, but in the meantime, right? So in the meantime, as you're signing up for the waitlist, which this might be an old page or whatever, but you can generate images available. AI art is interesting, right? You can give it all sorts of prompts. You can tell what kind of style you want to do. You can tell what kind of, what type of colors. You can tell it what kind of images, things to include. You can do lots of interesting things with this, right? The cool thing about the art though that it generates is that it's just a little different. Like, it may be a human made this, but probably not. It catches your attention in a really interesting way. You can't use everything that it generates, but you can create some interesting ideas. So let's do something like man eating steak in the forest. Now let's do the style of Van Gogh just for the fun of it, right? Now, the cool thing about this, let's say we're creating ads for a company that does carnivore diets or something like that. Let's see what this generates for us here. Man eating steak in the forest in the style of Van Gogh. You can give it almost any kind of prompt, any kind of stuff, and it will throw it out. I put in the style of Van Gogh just to show you kind of how odd you can make this, right? Now, this would be terribly, terribly disruptive. Some of these images are scary, like whoever this guy is, I don't want to talk with him or be associated with him, but it's interesting, right? If you slap something like this or this or this onto a Facebook ad, it's going to be very, very different, right? It's going to be something that stands out. It's just going to make someone stop on their feet, right? Mating steak in the forest. Let's try some other things with, let's say, and let's do it in the mountains. And let's do like an 80s, or let's do pixel art just for the fun of it, right? Pixel art. You can change different styles. You can feed it anything. And that's the fun thing. When you just come around here, you can play around with it. You can add ideas. You can add random things. Again, this might not match the brand, but this is going to stop the scroll. Right. And some of this is weird. Like, there's some guy looking to paint, it doesn't make any sense. Some of it makes zero sense. Right. I mean, it kind of depends on what you feed it, but you can give it all sorts of ideas. I'm going to do the same thing. Let's say strong man eating steak in the mountains during sunset. Let's see what it throws out. And again, this is not I haven't given any kind of style, anything like that. We'll see what it spits out. And this is fun, right? This is honestly, this is just some weird stuff, right? This random dude eating steak. Look, this guy's got 3 legs. There's some strange things. This one's just odd. This is just absolutely odd, but it would catch your attention. This would certainly catch your attention if it was thrown on an Instagram feed or a Facebook feed or something like that. This is random dude squatting by a bunch of chunks of steak. And you can play around with it and you can feed it different things, but roughly this is what happens. I'm curious what happens if I feed it into DALL-E. If I feed it directly into DALL-E, I bet it's going to get something similar. You see the detailed levels of the kind of things you can feed it. A bowl of soup, the whatever. See, this is slightly different stuff. This guy's smelling steak. This random dude's yeah, it's so odd. This is such interesting, strange things. And you can feed it different stuff. This looks like Jocko Willink's cousin from West Virginia. But you see what I'm talking about. You can use this to generate endless images, endless ideas for stuff. And even if you don't use this, right, you might take this and you might edit it, or you might send this to your graphic designer and he might do something different. But you can use this as like a base. You can take this, throw it in Canva, throw text overlays, do different stuff like that. But this is guaranteed to stop someone scroll. You want to find things that make sense, right? At least make sense. This one looks normal. You don't want things to look totally weird or strange. You want things to look as real as possible. That's kind of a weird one. It's like a weird ape man. You want to pick things that make sense, that don't look terribly evil or distorted, but you want things that stand out, and AI will help you generate a whole bunch of different ideas all at once. And that's kind of the fun thing about it, right? You can generate and test millions of ideas without having to sit down and actually do the artwork and actually design anything. You can just test it out. You can just give it a query and boom, hours and hours of human work replicated. And I'm sure maybe it's a little weird, maybe it's a little different, but that's kind of a feature. You can use this, right? There's a million ways you can use these types of images inside of your marketing. You can use them for social media posts. You can use them for paid ads. You can use them inside of your cold email outreach, part of the sales process. You can do all sorts of stuff. There's other tools out there where you can upload your own images and it can do some weird things with it. Like you can upload a person's face and then like have them created in like some other form or version. I made a version of that with me like knocking out an opponent. It was really weird and off. I had like 3 arms, but like there's some of them that turned out okay. You can use these tools to generate art and images that would normally take a human being hours and hours and hours of time, a day of work. You can do it in half a second. So use these tools, use these to generate disruptive images. Sometimes they might fit, sometimes they might not. It's a tool you want to have in your back pocket because there's going to be some copywriter out there who is using this tool to succeed. So keep this in mind. Use this OpenAI, and I'll drop the links inside of this learning module. They'll be probably just above the video or below it. Depends on where and how it's hosted, but I'll have the links to these 2 specific tools inside of that. This is a useful tool. This is a useful capability you want to have in your back pocket. You don't have to be a graphic designer. You don't have to be an artist, but now you can create endless images on the fly that are extremely disruptive and attention grabbing. So I'm excited to show you guys some more stuff. I have some more things installed for you guys, or install. That's not the right word. See, I'm a word guy. I like to sit around and think about words all the time. I have some more things for you in store. That's the right word. I have some more things in store for you guys tomorrow. I'm excited to share them. In the meantime, dive in, play around with these tools, and use them to create some really massively interesting and disruptive images.